Have you ever looked up at the sky and asked, why me? Why did this have to happen? Why now? And then, when life finally offers you a moment of peace, have you ever felt that little bit of pride, forgetting that every blessing and every struggle comes from a higher hand? We chase success, we fight for control, we make endless plans, but we often forget that there's already a plan written just for us. In the end, only time reveals what was truly good or bad. Maybe you're going through a tough time right now, or maybe things are going so well that you've forgotten how quickly life can change. Either way, today's story is for you. So listen closely, because this story might not just make you think, it might change the way you see everything. At the foot of a green hill, nestled beside a dense forest, lay a quiet village. In that village lived a humble farmer named Mr. Adam. He was a middle-aged man who led a simple, peaceful life, though it was never an easy one. He wasn't rich. In fact, most days, just putting 2 meals on the table felt like a blessing. But there was something special about him. Even in poverty, he was content. He never complained, never envied anyone, and always said, "Whatever I have, it's enough." Mr. Adam owned a small piece of farmland where he grew crops with the help of his only son, Daniel, and their loyal white horse, Max. But Max wasn't just any horse. He was fast, strong, and so intelligent it seemed he could understand human emotions. He was more than a working animal. He was family. One afternoon, word of Max's incredible strength and beauty reached a wealthy businessman from the city named Mr. Smith. Intrigued, he traveled all the way to the village with his son just to see this famous horse for himself. The moment he laid eyes on Max, he was stunned. The horse's muscles gleamed in the sunlight. His coat was as white as fresh snow, and his posture was regal. Mr. Smith immediately made an offer, a very, very generous one. But to everyone's shock, Mr. Adam refused. The villagers couldn't believe it. Has he gone mad? They whispered amongst themselves. He could have lived like a king with that money. Some even started mocking him. A poor man turning down gold, what a fool. But just a few days later, everything changed. One morning, Max was gone. He had vanished from his stable without a single trace. Mr. Adam and Daniel searched from sunrise to sunset through the fields, the deep woods, and every nearby path, but Max was nowhere to be found. The same villagers who had mocked him now shook their heads in pity. See, he wasn't even worthy of owning such a fine horse. Others whispered, maybe that rich man sent someone to steal it. Daniel was devastated. "Dad," he said, his voice cracking with tears, "we've lost everything. How can you stay so calm?" Mr. Adam looked at his son, smiled gently, and said, "My boy, life is never just good or bad. Sometimes, what feels like a great loss today becomes a blessing tomorrow. Don't worry." Daniel didn't understand. He thought his father was just trying to hide his own pain. But a few days later, something unbelievable happened. While working in the fields one morning, Daniel saw movement on the horizon, a familiar white shape. He ran closer, and his eyes widened in shock. It was Max, and he wasn't alone. Trailing behind him were 5 wild horses, following him as if he were their leader. The news spread through the village like wildfire. The same people who had once laughed at Mr. Adam now rushed to his house, exclaiming, "Mr. Adam, you're the luckiest man alive. What a miracle, you lost 1 horse and gained 6. But Mr. Adam just smiled and said calmly, "Maybe Max went into the forest to find his friends. And now he's back." No pride, no excitement, just quiet peace. Soon after, Daniel began training the new horses. He worked day and night, determined to tame them so they could help on the farm. But one morning, while trying to ride one of the wilder ones, the horse kicked out suddenly. Daniel fell hard, breaking his leg. The villagers gathered again, their whispers returning. "See, that man's luck has finally run out." Those wild horses brought disaster to his home. Daniel, gritting his teeth in pain, looked at his father. "Father, this time you can't say it's good. This is truly bad." Mr. Adam only nodded slowly and said, "Good or bad, my son, we cannot judge right away. Time will tell." Daniel lay in bed for weeks, frustrated and helpless. He couldn't walk, couldn't work, couldn't help his family. But then, a week later, something happened that no one saw coming. War broke out. The kingdom began drafting all the young men from the village to fight on the front lines. Families cried as their sons were taken away, many of them never to return. But Daniel, with his broken leg, was spared. He stayed home alive and safe. When the war finally ended, the village was filled with grief. So many fathers and mothers wept for their lost sons. Some came to Mr. Adam and said, "You're so lucky. We called you foolish, but look, your son lives, while ours are gone." Mr. Adam looked at Daniel, who was sitting beside him, and said quietly, "Do you see now, my son?" When Max disappeared, it felt like a tragedy, yet he returned with 5 more horses. When you broke your leg, it felt like terrible pain, but it saved your life. Daniel looked at his father, his eyes finally filled with understanding. Mr. Adam continued, "That's why, my boy, when something good happens, don't let it make you proud. And when something bad happens, don't let it break you. Both are just moments in time, and time not ooze reveals their true meaning." That day, Daniel finally understood the profound truth his father had lived by his entire life. Nothing is purely good or bad. It's all part of a greater story that unfolds with time. The real lesson is that everything will pass. Pain fades, joy fades. Every moment, whether it's bright or dark, moves us closer to understanding the plan that was written for us. Even if we can't see the reason now, one day we will. So, when life feels unfair, stay patient. When life feels easy, stay humble. And through it all, stay thankful. Because everything, every twist, every fall, every rise happens for a reason. And whether it seems good or bad, it will pass. If you're in a season that hurts right now, take heart. And if you're in a season of comfort, don't get lost in pride. Life is all about balance, and true wisdom is learning to trust that balance. In the end, as Mr. Adam taught his son, don't fall apart in hard times, and don't lose yourself in good times. Keep faith, keep patience, and let time reveal the truth. That is the wisdom of Mr. Adam's story. Life isn't about labeling moments as good or bad, but about trusting that time will show us their purpose. Every joy and every loss carries its own meaning. If this story moved you, please like this video, share it with someone who might need this reminder today, and subscribe for more timeless stories that bring peace, wisdom, and hope to your heart. Because in the end, everything good or bad will pass, and every moment has its reason. Thank you for listening.